dear students. Welcome to a very special lecture on the writing process. I'm Dr. Pervaiz Ahmad. In these lectures, we will trying to teach our students how to do the writing, especially when they're writing a manuscript, or they're writing a scientific report, or they're doing any writing job during their academics. So let's proceed toward today's lectures. So you can see here in this particular slide that writings is being categorized into a few steps. That is, first of all, you have to do the pre-writing process, then after pre-writing you have to do the drafting, then editing, and finally you have to send your documents for publishing or for submissions and to an academic for the particular purpose. So let's have a detail of each of these process, that is pre-writing, drafting, editing, and publishing. So let's start from the first process, that is pre-writing. So what actually you do in the pre-writing? Basically, whenever you have intention for the writing, so you start writing from the thinking. That is, first of all, whenever you have intentions for the writing, so you should think. And during the thinking, you should ask yourself why I'm writing this and what is my purpose. I mean, you should think about your writing purpose. That is the key thing in writing. And you should also care about your audience. That is, you have the intention for writing, and along with that you should also know about your audience. That is, who will read your work or who will be your audience. And with that, once you have a decisions, you thought a lot, you considered your purpose, and you also know about your audience. Then you have to involve yourselves, and for that, first of all, you should understand the concept of the plagiarism. That is, you have to utilize your own ideas, you have to develop your own ideas. That's what actually mean by the plagiarism. I mean, you don't have to adopt, you don't have to rewrite other people's works, because if you do so, so that is called the plagiarism. So you should know about the plagiarisms. You should do your own brainstorming to develop the idea, and for that you have to do some preliminary research, and during that research, you will have to develop some research questions and hypotheses. These hypotheses and for these research questions, you have to manage your time, and during that time, you have to organize your ideas in a particular pattern. So, what actually you have to do? Let me summarize again. First of all, you have to take decisions on a topic to write about. Then considers who will read or listen to your work. That is where it's come that you should choose your audience. That is, who will read your work or who will consider your work. Then once you start writing, so you have to brainstorm, you have to do the brainstorming for developing the ideas. And then you have to place the information, and for the information you have to do a lot of research, and that's come from the brainstorming. First of all, you should develop the ideas, and for the ideas, you have to do further research in order to gain further information about that particular things. So you have to continue the writing by doing a continuous research in that particular field. The second step, that is the recycle writing. That is, you have to develop a draft first. You first of all, you should write a draft first, then getting feedback from your friends, from maybe from your supervisor or maybe some other colleague that's working in your lab, and that will help you to complete your first draft. And then you have to do the revisions. The revision is a more important task. You have to develop multiples drafts. You have to revise it several times. For that, you have to involve yourself. You have to clarify your ideas by sharing the ideas with your friend, with your colleague, some of your seniors. There might be people working with you and your lab. So supporting with the details and the examples, what you have written, you should support that with the detail. You should give some proper detail, about your idea, and you should reorganize your ideas. You have sufficient examples, you have information, you have the knowledge, you're doing the research, so you have to properly reorganize your ideas, and that at the end you have to put in a flow so that it can easily be understood by the other people. So for that you have to improve the structure and the language. So let me put it again that first of all, put the informations you search into your own words. I mean whatever the informations or whatever the research you have gathered for your writing purpose. So what you can do, you have to put that in your own words. And why is that important? It's important because if you put your own idea in someone other words, so that will count sometime in similarity index. So you know that similarity index is not allowed, especially when you do the academic writing. So try to put your own words, try to put your ideas in your own words. So write sentence and paragraph even if they are not perfect. I mean that's the first thing you can do, because after that once you develop your first draft, so you have to do a lot of revisions. And during the revisions, what actually you have to do, you have to read what you have written and judge if it say what you mean. So it's okay. If not, so then you have to do the revision regressive. You have to do a lot of revisions. You have to read it again and again. You have to share the ideas with your friend. You should ask them what actually it means. So if they give you the exact sense what actually you thought that it is, so then it's okay. Otherwise you have to reorganize your sentence, and you should again share it with your friend, with your colleague. You ask for the suggestions, and along with that again you have to do the corrections. I mean you have to do the small changes and the writings. You have to involve, you should involve the peoples. You should ask them for spell checkings and proofreadings, correcting grammars, proper punctuations, and proper capitalizations. So read what you have written again and again, and that is the most important task. I mean you should read or you should revise 100 times before you can send it for the submissions. So think about what other said about it. I mean as I said earlier in the last slide, so you should share what you written with your friends and ask them about the feedback. I mean if their feedback exactly, I mean what you mean or what you are actually thinking for writing or what actually you mean for that writing. So I think it's okay. So if they say something another way, so rearrange words or sentence. I mean if, let's suppose you ask a feedback from your friend and your friend say that uh, okay, what actually you have, I mean your idea, so exactly it means like that. If let's suppose they say something else, so you better rearrange your word or sentences, take out or add parts. I mean that what you do when you do the editing or you're doing the revisions. So replace your use or unclear words. I mean it's possible when you are new writers, and you're writing for the first time, so maybe it's a very common things that sometimes you can utilize. You overuse wording, or you sometimes you utilize unclear word because you're unfamiliar with the writing. And sometimes the people, whenever they're trying to use or to replace the wording, so they just use the utility from the word, ms word. Sometimes it can create very ambiguous meaning. So be clear about the wording, be clear about the choice of the wording, especially when you're writing for publication. So again, read your writing aloud to be sure it is a flow smoothly. If it's not, so again you have to do the revisions, you have to reorganize your drop, and you should continue the process. So you have to do the formattings for finalizing the paper by following the correct submissions guidelines. I mean once you have the final drop, you have done the excessive revisions. So then you should focus on a particular publishing database. For example, there is a lot of publishing databases like Elsewhere, SES, Spranger's, Nature. So all of them, they have their own formattings. You should finalize your drop by their correct template or by their formatting, by their formatting procedures. You should follow their submission guidelines. So for that, you have to again do the you should get the ideas from their websites about the line spacing, the font type and size, proper citation and references styles. It's normally given on the website. of the publishings databases or the publishings organizations, just like we mentioned about the Elsewhere or Springers or Natures or ACS or whatever I mean it's maybe MDPI or whatever you want, or wherever you want to publish or send your documents for publication. So accordingly you should correct the title page. You should do the necessary thing for to the important thing for the submissions according to the journal format. So for that, be sure all your sentences are complete. There shouldn't be incomplete sentences in your documents. So along with that, you have to do the proper spell checkings. If there is any mistake, so you should correct the spelling, capitalizations and punctuations. Along with that, change words that are not used correctly. Have some check on your work. Recopy it correctly and neatly. And once you say that, okay, you have finalized the graph, finalized the final drop. So read your work, read what you have written aloud to a group, and then when everyone say when your co-authors or your colleagues or your friends, when they say that it's okay, so then you should proceed toward the submissions, and then you should submit your work in a national or international journal for publication. So that's all. We have some simple tips for academic writing, or we have summarized as the writing process. So stay tuned, because in the next lectures we are coming with some scientific writing skills. We will have a lecture series on scientific writing, where we will teach our students that how to do the scientific writing, or why learn scientific writing. So stay tuned with us. See you in that particular lectures and the coming lecture series. So till then, bye bye.